Alright, today we have a PC build guide parts list. It's just a part list. We're not actually building the PC. We'll see how many people actually like this parts list, and if they do, we'll actually build it out and test it out and get the benchmarks. But from what I can speculate, I think this is a really good parts list for a gaming PC with capabilities for streaming and video editing as well. Of course, anything this price tier should be, but a little bit more so because we'll be dealing with Ryzen 3000. So let's get into the parts list right now. First up, we have the Ryzen 5 3600. You guys already know how well this thing performs, and if you don't, I recommend checking out benchmarks from Gamers Nexus, Hardware Unbox, and all those guys. So you can pay extra for the 3600X or the 3700, but the 3900 is the only one that really gives you the true leap in performance. But at that point, you're spending a lot more money for those performance gains. So for the 3600, you're really getting the best price to performance at this tier, and it also comes with the Wraith Stealth cooler. So this is a perfectly fine cooler in case you don't want to pay extra for the Arctic Freezer 34 Esports tower cooler that I recommended. But if you want to, you can do that. Next, we have 16 gigs of 3200 megahertz DDR4 RAM from Crucial Ballistic Sport. Obviously, this isn't the most blingy of RAM, but at 78 bucks, you really can't ask much more for it. Even with Ryzen's 3rd gen CPUs, it still has issues with memory latency. So the faster RAM, the better it performs. At 3200 and 3000 megahertz, you're really hitting the sweet spot in terms of price to performance, in my opinion. Next, we have the Gigabyte B450 Aorus Elite, which is $104. This is a pretty good looking board, to say the least. It also has an M.2 heat shield, as well as you can see over here is an M.2 heat shield. You have an IO shield. There's a fairly decent IO on the back as well. There's no USB Type-C port, unfortunately, and it's a fairly decent VRM. It's a B450 board. Yeah, you might have to do a BIOS update, but for the X470 boards, if you're looking for something in this price range, you're really cutting deep into the features. So next we have the Arctic Freezer 34 Esports cooler at 31 bucks, a true powerhouse for the money that you pay for it. And honestly, I reviewed the 33, and you guys should check that out if you want to see what kind of cooling performance it has. It does very, very well, and it looks good. The little black and white configuration is cool. I like that. It has other colors as well if you want to, but for 31 bucks, I mean, you really can't ask much more for that. Next, we have the EVGA 600 watt bronze power supply with a 3-year warranty. This is a fairly good power supply in my opinion. I mean, it's non-modular, sure, but all the cables are blacked out, so you don't have any mustard or catch-up cables, so it's still going to be an aesthetically pleasing build for the price that you're paying for it. And 600 watts is the right amount of power that you need for this system anyways. Next, we have the Crucial P1 500GB NVMe drive. Now, this isn't as fast as your 970 Pro from Samsung or your Western Digital Black drive, but it's still an NVMe drive with decent write and read speeds, good reliability and stability with its memory controller. Next, for mass storage, we have a Seagate Barracuda 2TB drive at 7200 RPM. I like the Barracuda drives, and for 50 bucks and 2 terabytes, you're honestly getting a great price to performance. Next, we have the Deep Cool Matrix 55 Add RGB case. This is a nice looking case in my opinion. I have one of these, although this is the Add RGB case, so there's a power supply basement. Now, there's some reviews complaining that there's no added fans with this, but there are no fans in this. You have decent airflow coming from the sides over here, as well as a mesh filter up at the top. So you're gonna have decent airflow in this case. You have a power supply basement, no rubber grommets, but I think you're gonna have a fairly decent looking PC in this thing, and it's not killing your airflow. Over here, we have a 5-pack of the Deepcool RF120 fans, and these are actually decent fans. Don't be fooled by the price for 40 bucks. For a 5-pack of these, this is a great deal. I really like these fans. They're quiet, they look good for the price, and they also have rubber vibration pads. I know a lot of fans have that nowadays, but trust me, these are good performing fans. And then lastly, for the GPU, we have the RTX 2060 Super, and this is $420 over here. So I recommend the 2060 Super if you want to keep it at $1,082 over here. That's without tax. Tax hasn't been added onto this, but I would recommend the 5700 XT in terms of performance over this card. But the only reason why I don't is because at the time of making this video, all the 5700 XTs are the standard AMD version and no aftermarket coolers are on them, and this thing overheats like crazy. The 5700 XT is a fantastic card in terms of performance, but it overheats. Until aftermarket coolers, I'm just going to recommend the 2060 Super or the 2070 Super. Now, the 2070 Super is pretty much sold out everywhere. There is some on back order, like this one over here, and it's about 500 bucks. This would make the build come out to about $1,200 altogether. So the $500 asking price for the 2070 Super is fairly decent in my opinion. You have the performance of a 1080 Ti with ray tracing features. Now I did do a bit of a different configuration here on Newegg. We have a Silicon Power 512 NVMe drive. It's a little bit different. It's $10 more expensive. We still have a 16 gig kit of RAM at 3200 megahertz. Instead, this one's by G.Skill for about the same price. The power supply we have is from Be Quiet, and it's the System Power U9 600 watt power supply, and Be Quiet makes fantastic power supplies. And the board's a little bit different. We have the ASRock B450 Steel Legend board, and this one has a little bit more features than the Aorus Elite board, I believe. I'll have all the links for these products in the description below. So let me know what you guys think of this budget and this parts list. If you want to see a smaller budget or have a different budget in mind, leave it down in the comments below. Whoever has the most likes will probably cater to that one, and I'll spec that one out and possibly even build that one. So whoever's the most popular down there, we'll see, and we'll actually build that PC in case this one isn't good enough. But let me know what you guys think about this parts list as well. If you want to see this one built, let me know. So thank you all for watching. If you want to see more content like this, consider subscribing and check out the rest of the channel. My name is JD, and I'll catch you in the next one. Done.